My tears are all about love. That's what I want you to hear today. The central message of the cross is love. Now, most of you know this. I mean, if you haven't figured this out yet, I love flying. I love being a pilot. I love being a chaplain. And I also love being a dad. I feel like I'm the most me when I'm with my children. That's when I'm most fully myself. I love being a dad because, for so many reasons, but one of them is it's the closest I've come to unconditional love. And I'm confident. I know if you ask my children this, and I'm thankful for this, that if you ask my children, they would say, yes, Dad gets upset with us sometimes. Yes, Dad can be a little weird sometimes. Yes, I don't always get Dad. But I also know this. My dad's love for me is never in question. They're secure in that. My love for them is the closest glimpse I have of God's love for me, God's love for you, and it's overwhelming. It's like so many parents, I would say, and can say, I would gladly lay down my life for my children. When my first child was born, David, I was caught off guard because I experienced a pure joy that I've never experienced in my life, an intense joy that I never felt in my life before. I was ready just to run around the hospital and hug and kiss everyone and to celebrate with everyone. It was incredible. And from that moment on, it was joy. And when he was 3 years old, my wife became pregnant with our baby girl, Sydney. And we were thrilled, we were excited, because this is the thing about love. It's not limited. There's not like a limited amount of love which you got to divvy out evenly among people, especially with the kids. It multiplies. It multiplies with each child. And we were so excited what was happening. Our family was growing. And we couldn't wait to meet her face to face. That moment never came. "22 years ago, my baby daughter died. Died before she took her first breath. She died before I could look into her eyes. We never got the chance to behold one another. And when that moment came, and from that time on, I have dealt with so many feelings and so many thoughts. And the first thing that happened was the realization that the world is indifferent at times. Because the ultrasound tech, while she was checking for signs of life and found none, all she said was, "Yep, there's nothing there," and then walked out. Not realizing she crushed our world. But she had other things to do. I was filled with anger because I was like, my daughter, she was innocent. She never had a chance to do anything wrong. I felt that it was so unfair. Once again, she was innocent. She didn't deserve this. And what was probably the hardest thing for me to deal with, and still deal with every so often now, is although I know that these things happen, and happen way too often in this world, and I know that we didn't do anything wrong, even though I know that, I was forced to watch it happen and couldn't do a thing about it. And I still feel that need, even to this day, to let her know how sorry I am that I could not save her. That it's with shame that I say Dad was helpless. And the thing is, I can still become tearful about it. And if I become tearful, don't ever feel uncomfortable about it, because my tears are the only way that can most fully express my deep love for my daughter. My tears are all about love. That's what I want you to hear today and take away. The central message of Holy Week, the central message of the cross, is love. The week of remembering the suffering death of Jesus is about God's love for you. God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, not to condemn, but to save. And so many people ask, why did Jesus die? Some will say, well, it was political. The Jewish leadership saw him as a threat to the status quo, and wanted to get rid of him. If we go deeper, there's the different atonement theologies, is what it's called. That it was a bait and switch, that Jesus died to fool the devil, to fool death, to trick the devil. Some people say, no, it's justice. Justice needed to be served. Others say a satisfaction needed to be made, a debt needed to be paid, and only Jesus could do that. Some will say that God needed to be appeased. There's so many theories and ways of thinking about why Jesus died, but the bottom line is this: he died because of God's great love for you. I love the scene from the Passion of the Christ with the tear dropping from the sky. It happened the moment Jesus died in the movie. And for me, it is the Father looking down and feeling the pain and the grief. And that teardrop hit the ground and shook the earth. But I've also come to think of it this way: that God was looking down, and that teardrop encapsulated his love for the world that shook the world. For me, it is a great reminder that God is not aloof. God is not distant. He's not above it all. God gets it. If you ever feel alone, God gets it. Jesus was abandoned by everyone. If you ever feel treated unfairly, if you feel like you are innocent and treated unfairly, God gets it. He did nothing wrong, yet was tortured and killed. If you ever feel helpless, God gets it. His enemies seemingly won. They mocked him while he was suffering and dying. If you ever feel that people don't understand you, God gets it. He came to his own, and his own did not understand him. His own did not accept him. If you ever feel this way, I offer you to pray the words that the thief said to Jesus. Words that I pray. And pray them with the assurance of knowing that your words will be heard. That you are not alone. You'll never will be alone. And you will never be left behind. Jesus remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.